Hi guys, we're gonna do the Marvel section of San Diego Comic-Con 2024.
Yeah.
We have a guest here called Rob the Bat. Say hi.
Hello, I'm Rob. You guys may know me as Rob the Bat from Twitter or
That's right.
other places.
Maybe we'll plug some socials in there,
Uh,
maybe not.
Please don't plug my TikTok.
Okay. That's fine. I mean, who
You guys-
uses TikTok anyways? It's not like millions of people do.
True. True.
Yeah,
Alright, well,
I should
to start
definitely delete
off, let's just go from the top, right? We'll get to the juicy stuff when we get to it, but I'd say this is
Yes,
arguably pretty juicy. This opened up, the Marvel event opened up with a Deadpool theme. This is from Discussing Film, a Deadpool themed choir, singing Like a Prayer. And they had multiple like Deadpool variants, I guess, walking or dancing around the area like where people are sitting at, and they had a Woody Deadpool from Toy Story,
Ooh.
and yeah, they just had a bunch of great stuff.
Was this like
I
was that like an actual thing that they did like coordinated with Marvel, or did they just
Yeah,
like grab the
that's
Deadpool
that's
cosplay that were at the convention?
I don't know. I'm gonna guess it's a mix of both, maybe,
Yeah,
or
probably.
probably
Like
just
I
Marvel
feel like
people.
I feel like maybe some Deadpool cosplayers like saw that happening and like snuck in.
Yeah,
No, that's interesting because like I've been to Comic Con. I never went to San Diego Comic Con, but I've been to New York Comic Con. So I wouldn't be surprised if like something like that was happening and a bunch of Deadpool cosplayers like snuck into that.
yeah. Something similar happened
Yeah,
also
that's
like that.
kind of funny.
Yeah, with the RDJ. We'll get there. All right. So there were
Yeah.
3 movies.
The RDJ thing though looks more coordinated because they all have the exact same mask and hood on.
Yeah.
Yeah, we'll get to it.
same
We'll get
cost.
to it. So 3 movies.
Yeah, well, yeah,
Captain
that's the big one.
America. So we got Captain America, Thunderbolts, Fantastic Four, and a little sum at the end. So first off, Captain America: Brave New World. We got a few interesting things here. Starting off, Kevin Feige says Brave New World is a return to the grounded aspects of Winter Soldier.
I don't believe that.
I don't
'cause he had,
believe
like, a
it
Red
either.
Hulk.
I think
Bro,
it's
we have
a
a Red
load of
Hulk in this
BS.
movie. Yeah.
Red Hulk, Zion. Like, I just
Yeah.
It's hard for me
there
to
were
believe.
things in that trailer that I thought were kind of cool. That trailer that came out. There were things that I thought were kind of cool, and then other things that I just like I could not care less about. And like I admit that I like Winter Soldier like a fair bit. I don't like Civil War, but I do like Winter Soldier a lot. I don't know. It just that movie doesn't excite me. I mean I've said this before to you guys and just in general how a lot of superhero things aren't really
Yeah, I get that.
exciting me. Whether you want to say that that's superhero
Yeah.
fatigue, like like I said before, like I'm mainly excited for the Batman stuff,
I don't think it's
Superman,
fake. It's
Yeah,
just like
Spider-Verse.
I agree.
the same shit every single year.
Yeah.
We have bad movie
We
fatigue.
got a
superhero.
little movie recently, Deadpool. I don't know how that is though. I haven't seen it. I've only heard good things, and I'm expecting good things. But yeah. I don't know. I think it is gonna be a mix of good and bad going forward, just based off of the slate we have. But again, it's kind of too premature to judge it based on the stuff
But-
that doesn't have trailers.
I will say one thing that I think is funny about Captain America: Brave New World is that everyone and their mother was talking about like Giancarlo Esposito having like a big role in the MCU. People were talking about him for like
Yeah.
Magneto or Doctor
Yeah.
Doom or like some like
I
cool
think
role,
he
and
said
he's
it
just in this
himself.
movie.
Yeah.
Yeah,
we did.
he himself was like, yeah, you know, I've heard people talk about me for Mr. Freeze or Magneto, and then he's in Captain America as this like normal looking guy with a gun.
Yeah.
Well,
that's,
it's interesting you
Like-
say that. It's interesting you say that. Just hold your tongue. Personally, I do not. It does. No part of the trailer screams espionage spy thriller to me.
Yeah. No.
They're saying it's be grounded like Winter Soldier, and that's a hard sell for me. I do not see any of that
If
in the
that's
trailer.
true, then yes, it's gonna be like a hard sell. But there's nothing about this like, ooh,
It just-
grounded. It's gonna be cool. It's gonna be
Yeah.
spy. No,
Mm-hmm.
but I feel like it would have been.
It just looks
I
like
want
an
it to be
MCU
good
movie.
though. Like I feel like Sam deserves a good movie.
He does. I completely agree.
I don't do anything too
yeah.
good, but I just
Yeah, I mean, just it's just interesting to me that Marvel is really like advertising this as the next Winter Soldier or like this very grounded story, and then they have Red Hulk. Not saying you can't have a grounded
I
story
do
with
think-
Red Hulk, but it seems like that would be exceedingly difficult. And then this other plot from Eternals, like, what's going on? Like, you know.
Yeah. Do you remember when they
I
called?
do think you kind of hit the nail on the head though. Like it's a marketing thing. Like
Mm-hmm.
one of the things that's pretty universally loved about the MCU is Winter Soldier. Even people who don't like the MCU are like, "Yeah, Winter Soldier kind of fucking slaps." So I think it is kind of that, just like guys, this is that thing you like, but again, come see our movie, put your ass in the seat, buy a popcorn bucket.
Yeah.
I think if anything, the Russos probably should have directed this one. Just due to the fact that they were the ones that introduced the character in the first place, and that have pretty much directed almost all appearances of the character. And they really, I mean, all those scenes, like in Civil War, Winter Soldier, there's not a single bad scene with Falcon in there that I can think of.
That is true. That is true. Yeah.
And I think
I mean, the Russos are directing something else.
Yeah, that is the case. That is the case. Of course, they only signed on as of recent, so it would have been possible. But man, I don't know. I personally prefer their directing style for Sam Wilson. This character in specific, I thought it wasn't as I guess kind of nuanced.
The show.
I'm not sure. I'm not sure, but the show, you know, I wasn't a huge fan of it compared to his appearances in the movies.
Yeah, agreed.
Next, Tim Blake Nelson teases they have written a great story for the leader, the character from The Incredible Hulk in Captain America: Brave New World. He is quoted saying, "It's been 16 years. Tell us about him now. I can't say much, no spoilers. I want them to bring me back." I'm not sure what he means at the end by saying, "I want them to bring me back,"
so
because he's already in the movie.
Why is it the Hulk?
Here's what I'm gonna say. Guy who gives a flying fuck about a leader from the first Incredible Hulk movie. Like I that's another thing that I just like.
Like, okay, I get it. People who are Hulk fans are excited for this, but this isn't a Hulk movie though. Like, I don't get why there's so many
I will
Hulk
say
characters.
that too. The thing with that is Hulk is kind of stuck in development hell.
Yeah.
Like we're not going to see a solo Hulk movie because of the
Yeah.
rights issue. So them kind of inserting this Hulk stuff into a Captain America movie. On the one hand, I get it, but on the other hand, like they could have made it a team up movie and could have just put the Hulk in it.
I mean,
but the Hulk's
I
in the MCU now.
was kind of wondering if Hulk was going to make an appearance, but I do think if he was to make an appearance, they wouldn't market it around that appearance. They would probably keep it a secret, just to keep the focus on Sam, Captain America. You know.
Yeah. I feel like it's Sam's first movie. It should be like a Sam only movie, like a Sam villain, in my opinion. Someone that challenges Sam.
It should within itself. It should be a story. You know, that's the most important thing. I think everything else is secondary to story. So if we need to focus on Sam, let's just focus on him. You know, as for the leader, it's interesting to me that they took this long. 16 years is crazy.
That's because they don't give a shit about him.
Yeah. I don't know. I have been waiting for the leader to return since that little tie-in comic. I've mentioned it a few times. Obviously, anything could have happened, but it's clear that there's something interesting going on. He had a codename Mr. Blue. Don't know why his codename wasn't Mr. Green. All right, next up is who Giancarlo Esposito is playing in this movie. Before I tell you, do you guys have any guesses?
Is it a legacy character?
I feel like I think it's gonna be some guy from the comics that I've never heard of that was in like two issues or something.
Is it like
the El Muerto of Captain America?
What's that?
Is it like a second Crossbones? Like
No.
second? Okay.
That would
no idea
I would
then.
like to see that. Okay, so he is.
I feel like it's gonna be the
Who's that?
Rob
who
probably
is
has
that?
no idea who that is.
Yeah,
I don't
Okay.
either.
literally, who the fuck is
Alright,
Sidewinder?
so he is the king. Here's the important thing.
Hold on.
Here's the important thing. He is the king of the Serpent Society.
No one cares, man.
Guys,
I know what that is, but no one cares.
I just think it's interesting because they tease
he
the
looks like
Serpent
this in the
Society.
comics. He looks like this in the comics, and that's way fucking cooler than what they're doing with giving Giancarlo. So
Yeah, that I would like to maybe have a
super.
little cheeky reference in there for him. That would be nice. As for Serpent Society,
Yeah.
you know, they teased it a while back as a joke, which I guess they're taking it more seriously now.
Bro, no one cares though. That's the thing. No one
I
cares.
also think that they hit rock fucking bottom for ideas, so they were like, huh, we were gonna make a Serpent Society movie years ago, but we switched it to Civil War, so.
I mean, it's easy to not care, but at this point, I wouldn't judge yet. All right, next
That's
up for
true.
Captain America, a clip from they had a clip at Comic-Con. It is not available on the internet because that's illegal, but there is a description. A clip from the movie shows Harrison Ford's Thunderbolt Ross directly talking about the Celestial coming out of Earth from Eternals.
I didn't finish Eternals, so I have no idea what that is.
Rob?
Didn't see, yeah, same. Didn't see Eternals.
Okay, so basically, just a little recap for everyone. At the end of the movie, basically, there was this celestial that lived inside of the Earth and that was feeding off of human energy. It was a whole stupid thing, but it was important for the MCU in general because there's this giant. I don't know if you've seen the picture or not. There's this called Tiamat.
I see the picture.
And this giant celestial is just reaching out from underneath the Earth. And so now that basically the whole planet is aware of this, there's going to be some political conflict within the movie. And it also brings in a new element, literally, because the celestial is made out of adamantium.
Ooh, that's cool. That's cool. I'm glad they finally like recognizing this big ass thing. For like the past few movies, people were like, "Why are people not acknowledging this big ass celestial in the Earth?" I'm glad they're doing it now, but like again, it's not the movie to do that though. Like,
you can say what you like. What was I gonna say? I was gonna say now that we have adamantium, you know, everyone's first thoughts is probably gonna be about Wolverine. But I was thinking, you know, the rumors of like Dex at the end of Daredevil having that adamantium skeleton, or the adamantium spinal implant or whatever. So maybe they could incorporate that now to where, you know, that adamantium gets transferred over into Dex. But who can say for sure? They can probably incorporate that into Dex's spinal implant. Because, you know, there were rumors about that for a long time. Yeah. All right. So, do you want to respond to that or Limitless?
Rob, do you want to? I think you have very strong opinions on season 4 of Daredevil.
I mean, I think that would be a very MCU thing to do. Like, Dex has adamantium in his spine now. Like, ha ha ha, guys, it's all connected. I think that would be a very MCU thing to do.
Yeah.
I think that was
I wouldn't
originally
have like a
always
problem
the
with
plan.
that. I wouldn't. Maybe I don't know, because is Adam like the MCU never really referenced adamantium beforehand, so
Yeah. Well, Daredevil
I don't
wasn't
know, 'cause
always
if they made
technically
it-
in the MCU, so I think the plan was to.
yeah, I know, because it was Marvel TV. It was like back and forth for a while of people saying it's canon, it's not canon.
Yeah, I think they were just at a point where they're like, we're gonna introduce adamantium in our show, but that didn't happen, obviously. So now this would be, I guess, a good way to continue. I don't know if they know about that, Marvel Studios per se, but if they do, it's probably pretty likely that they're gonna do that.
How would Dex get a hold of adamantium? Like, he's not that rich, right? So how would he, of all people, have adamantium?
He's friends with the little Kingpin. He's friends with Kingpin, right?
He's not friends. He literally fought at the end, man. He broke his
Kingpin,
back.
well, here's the thing. Kingpin doesn't have friends. He has acquaintances or people that he needs to use. So if he needs Dex for something, he will use him for something.
Vanessa got it for him.
Yeah,
maybe.
Whatever you want to say. Next up, there was more footage of Harrison Ford, aka Thunderbolt Ross, turning into Red Hulk in front of the White House while giving a speech. Not sure again how that works.
I think the funniest thing about Red Hulk is what Harrison Ford said about the mocap.
What?
Which I'll send this tweet in the chat right now. He said, quote, "It took not caring. It took being an idiot for money, which I've done before, but it was fun."
Oh yeah, and he was doing Red Hulk he was doing the Red Hulk poses on the stage.
Yeah, like he clearly had a good time, but he also clearly wanted the bag.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
That's Harrison for you. He's unapologetic. He also
True.
said he would have grown a
Yeah.
mustache. Not super important, but I just think it's interesting why they wouldn't have him grow the mustache. I guess if they didn't, then we wouldn't have that good scene of him saying, "All right, I got a new look" or whatever. I thought that was a good scene.
Yeah. Yeah, it was funny.
And he said he's proud to become a member of the Marvel Universe.
Wait, I have a question. What do you guys think about the new
That
suit?
was definitely written for him in a lab. I feel like that was written for him to
Wait.
say, like, I'm very proud to be a member of the Marvel Universe.
Maybe.
Like, his ass has never picked up a Marvel comic book.
Yeah.
Like,
Well, here to
What do you-
conclude, he said,
I would
he
get
said that
so
he's
much
watching
money.
a lot of actors have fun doing it, which is why he wanted to do it.
Yeah, that's fair.
yeah.
I'll talk about what do you guys think about Sam's new suit?
Sam's new suit, I think it's good. Not huge on
like
the
it.
mask.
No, I think the OG one was good.
So-
they even have the
So
OG
here's
one.
my hot take.
Yeah.
I think the OG mask looks kind of bad, and I like the fact that they just slimmed it down to just the goggles. Something about like when he turned his head, like the folds would show.
Yeah,
and they
I
had
do
to like
think that's
digitally
kind of
edit
way
it.
too tedious to have to do. I get why they didn't.
But I
Do
feel like
that.
the suit
To
itself
do.
was better.
And I
though.
also
Like,
think
suit
the
itself was better.
glasses just look a lot slicker.
Yeah.
Like I know it's
It-
comic accurate, but I don't know. Even like when Wally West had like that type of mask in the Flash with like the open head,
looks kinda
but the full
awkward.
mask around his face. It
But
looked kind of
ignoring the-
awkward. Like I
ignoring the
kind of
mask,
prefer
though.
that they slimmed it down to the goggles.
But knowing the
Um,
mask, though, what do you think about the rest of the suit?
The rest of the suit. Okay,
Uh,
well, let me just
I
say
think
the
it's
original
defi-
suit is in this movie, or it's like an
It
updated
is.
version.
Yes, it is.
And I like
Yes.
that, but I get why
I
they
think
didn't
But
that
do
why
it.
the
would they change
suit-
that though? Like I like
Okay, I
just-
can explain why.
Okay.
2 reasons. The new suit
Marketing.
with like the more blue. I think that it's meant to be like his stealth suit, kind of how similar to Steve had a stealth
Yeah.
suit. But also,
Okay.
I think it is very much a weird choice to have this character have a statement of like, I'm not Steve Rogers, and then
Yeah.
his suit looks more like Steve Rogers' suit with it
Yeah.
being more blue heavy.
Yeah,
I think that's a
good
very
point.
weird statement to make. Now, also, but here's the thing: the MCU has done that stuff before, like how in No Way Home, like how at the end of Far From Home, Peter like moved on from Tony Stark, and yet in No Way
Yeah.
Home, his suit is like half made of Iron Man stuff with like
Yeah.
the giant gold and red logo, which is like
Yeah.
very Iron Man reminiscent. So the MCU has like notoriously kind of been bad at that stuff,
Yeah.
but it's just very much an interesting choice to make this distinct thing where it's like, I'm not Steve Rogers, and then his suit looks more like Steve Rogers' suit.
Yeah, I mean,
Yeah.
I'm a little bit torn on the suits at the moment. I think I'm just gonna have to wait to see both of them in action a little bit more to form an opinion. But it's not the worst
Yeah.
thing in the world. We've had worse suits. What do you guys? All right, next up is Thunderbolts. But before I say the stuff that's going on, because there wasn't a lot. What are y'all's thoughts on the lineup of Thunderbolts?
Boring as hell, man. Boring as hell.
Okay, Rob, you don't like it either?
Like I think that is the most. I think that is the most boring fucking lineup of people you could have chosen. When half of the lineup is literally just dudes who can fight. Literally, the half the lineup is dudes who can fight and dudes who have guns. Like
Yeah.
the only person who can do anything remotely
Ghost.
interesting is fucking the chick from Ant-Man. Yeah.
Yeah, it goes.
I would like,
Like
to
the
see them
rest
have
is just Bucky.
Abomination.
What-
Abomination would have been great, or Deadpool would have been great.
Deadpool, no.
But
think
like
that would've been fun.
Taskmaster, U.S. Agent, Bucky Barnes, Florence Pugh, and Red Guardian.
Big guy.
Like
Yeah.
they're just guys who can fight. And I think I compare that to like the Suicide Squad.
Yeah, I
the
was
James
thinking
Gunn
about
one.
that.
Definitely.
Honestly, you know what? Even this 2016 one, like yeah, you got people who the man who can climb anything, Slipknot. But at the same time, it's like okay, you got Deadshot who's an expert marksman, and you got Killer Croc who
Yeah,
can
you
fight.
got
who's
Enchantress,
like a
Captain
metahuman.
Boomerang, who's
You
a
got Enchantress.
metahuman.
There was variety there. Or I don't think
Yeah.
it was a metahuman in that movie, but there was
was not.
variety. There was
Yeah.
variety in that team to kind
Yeah.
of, in action scenes, you can have them do different things. And James Gunn especially, I think, honed in on that
Oh,
really well.
James Gunn
You
would
got
have made a
Bloodsport-
great Thunderbolts.
Yeah.
I'm really looking forward to Superman because James Gunn kind of, like, the past, like, 5 movies he made have been movies about multiple superheroes, and I guess Superman is like that too, because you got fucking.
I thought the same
Green
thing.
Lantern.
I mean, the man's a great writer, but it isn't so easy to tell a singular story focused on one person. You need to have a cast of characters, which it's clear he's doing that, but obviously the main focus is going to be Superman. So I'm interested to see that. Of course, he's still kind of transitioning from the group stories, but yeah.
I'm interested to see the balance of that, because Superman already has like a supporting cast, and I know we're not talking about Superman.
Yeah. Okay.
The DC guy in me is.
We can
is
cut
really
it. Or we could probably put it in next
pivoting,
podcast.
Like, is kind of pivoting to wanting to talk about the DC stuff. But
Okay. So then let's go back to Thunderbolts. Okay, I know your favorite.
I will not be seeing Thunderbolts. You will not see my ass in the theater.
No, but what if the trailer's like really goated, like really, really goated?
No way.
Because I also made I also said after Guardians 3 that was the last MCU movie I was gonna watch, and I'm trying to see how long I can stick to that.
Okay, fair
and
enough.
I can tell you, Thunderbolts is not gonna be my fucking breaking point.
I don't know. I mean, I've heard some pretty interesting things. Okay, again, before
that movie is not going to be the shit that gets my ass in the seat.
Even though you aren't interested in seeing it, who do you think, I guess, who are you most excited to see, or what character do you think will probably be the most interesting in the movie?
So, okay, that I can say something about.
Yeah.
Either U.S. Agent or
Agent,
Bucky
definitely.
Barnes.
No, U.S. Agent.
U.S. Agent, because I think he was actually one of my favorite parts of the Falcon and Winter Soldier show, and
definitely.
I think like he actually was given an interesting like perspective and stuff of like being forced into this role of Captain America that no one like even when he was trying to be a nice person to Bucky and Sam and Bucky were just kind of being douches to U.S. Agent.
Not that he's a good person, but it's true.
So like I think that there's something interesting you can do with that. Bucky Barnes, man, that man has been in like 8 of these things and has not really ever been an interesting character.
That is something I have been thinking about. I was thinking about, let's think about Bucky's evolution from the first Captain America movie to the Falcon and the Winter Soldier. There's a clear distinction.
So, first, Captain America, the first Avenger, he's a side character. He's Steve's best friend. He works as that. He gets captured. He's Steve's motivation for becoming Cap. I get all that, but he's a side character.
And Winter
Soldier, he's mind controlled the entire time, but he isn't like a character. Like he doesn't have like an arc. He is the enemy. But even then, in Winter Soldier, the reason I care about Bucky is because I care about what he means to Steve rather than what I care about him as a character.
Yeah,
and then in Winter Soldier, he's basically a plot. Civil War, he's a plot device.
That's what I'm saying. He's a conduit to move the story forward. There's not too many interesting things about that, besides the fact that he killed Tony's parents, but that doesn't really change him.
Yeah. But even then, that's also kind of like a plot point rather than like a character-driven thing.
Yeah.
I agree.
And then in Avengers Infinity War, he's cannon fodder to shoot, the mindless CGI drones. Yeah. In Endgame, I don't think he has a single line of... he has like one line of dialogue.
I don't even remember him saying anything in Endgame.
He did.
He says goodbye to Steve before Steve gets in the time machine.
You're right. Personally, I'm...
In Falcon and Winter Soldier...
Yeah.
Such an ass.
In Falcon and Winter Soldier, he starts off... You get like this kind of interesting thing about like... If like the first 2 episodes where he's like talking to the Asian guy and he like killed his son or whatever and he feels bad.
I like that.
And then that's like that was cool and like we start to get something with that and he's like trying to help him.
But it's overshadowed by the rest of the story, which in my opinion isn't that
good. By the rest of the story.
Yeah.
Yeah, like it doesn't get enough screen time. It's
if there was a way to tie that into the rest, it would be good. But it's just a B plot.
Yeah.
I also don't think Sebastian Stan is like that great of an actor. Like he's fine, he's serviceable, but he's never.
I feel like he's never matured as an actor.
Except for Winter Soldier, he's never really. Yeah, that's true. That's fair. He's never like. I don't know. There's like.
I just don't think he's gotten the right opportunity, in my opinion.
Yeah, I feel like he's a good actor.
Yeah,
he just can't unleash his potential because he can't do shit with.
Again, great scenes in Winter Soldier, but it's not quite the same.
Yeah.
So, in my opinion, I'm most interested to see U.S. Agent, and I'm
What's his name again?
Interested to see Bucky, because I'm really interested in how they're even going to do anything with Bucky after, they've kind of stagnated his character. What are you going to say?
What was U.S. agent's real name? Like
John Walker.
John
Walker.
Walker.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
So now onto the news section.
I will
of
say one thing.
Thunderbolts. Oh yeah.
One last thing. I really, for some reason, do not like the stupid accent that Florence Pugh puts on for Yelena.
Yes.
Oh,
It's
yeah.
really annoying and
That's
grating to
it's
listen
interesting
to.
that you say that because Sebastian Stan said that Florence Pugh was the standout of the movie.
What do you mean?
Like, he
he's-
said
I think
he's the
Florence Pugh
standout
is a good
character.
I think she's a good actress. But her voice is like so great. And like that scene with Haley Steinfeld and Hawkeye is so annoying to listen to.
Yes.
Where she's like, "What? This is crazy." Like, oh.
I'm not sure how the realism meter scales on that, but
Yeah.
it's not my favorite. I'm gonna say.
Do you guys think Bucky's gonna die this movie? Because you said it's like having 9 lives. How many are left?
I think it would be such a bad ending for his character. If they
Yeah.
killed him off, I don't think they would.
Especially after not really getting to.
All right, now onto the footage. All right, I guess the first trailer that they showed at SDCC probably going to be released within the coming months, if not really soon. So the trailer, here's the description. It says, Yelena visits Red Guardian's apartment, calls him dad, and then this is the stupid part in my opinion. She just goes out on a whim and says that she has found that the only reason for her to live is to kill other people. Where did that come from? Well, like, I didn't see that in her Hawkeye character. Now she's just like,
Yeah,
I'm gonna kill everyone.
Her whole motive in Hawkeye for killing Clint was like she was led to believe that Clint killed.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, he was led to believe that. Like he didn't kill her, but yeah.
Yeah.
But now that
Like-
she's just saying, I can only kill to survive, that's stupid to me.
Yeah. Yeah.
And
This comment is very funny to me.
it
Where are
just
we?
it
Some
just
kind of
seems like
Thunderbolts?
they need to have some sort of plot. Oh, Elena needs to kill everyone now. Okay, great. Ghost has a new costume. I'm not sure. I don't think we've seen that one yet, so that sounds interesting. I would like to. Again, I didn't hate Ghost in Ant-Man and the Wasp. I actually thought she was one of the more interesting characters in the movie. But yeah,
I think Ant-Man and the Wasp is a like boring, forgettable, lame movie that I don't remember anything from. But I will say on paper, like Ghost is the only one that has like an interesting skill set.
Yeah, I thought her story was I thought her story was pretty interesting in that she had an actual character arc, which is like why I was like more interested in her than the like let's say Ant-Man. Honestly, like if I'm being real. And then all the Thunderbolts are individually assigned to the same job, but it's a setup. So that's an interesting thing.
That sounds interesting. That sounds good in my opinion. Like
Again,
seeing more figuring out that they're all killing the same person is kind of interesting to me.
Yeah, I just think it's so early to like say, because I think I just
imagine
I'm sure
Bucky
a lot of these
and
things are without
John.
context.
Yeah, but I just imagine Bucky and John are in the same warehouse, kind of kill the same person, and they just have to like work together. I feel like that would be like a very good scene to have.
Well, there are rumors
for some reason,
of Sentry.
You saying that reminded me of the Arkham Origins trailer for some reason, like how Deadshot and Deathstroke are both trying to kill Batman at the same time.
Any choice to bring
Don't
up
know why I felt the
DC.
need to mention it.
But yeah, I feel like Thunderbolts is just like the assassins from Arkham Origins trying to kill this mysterious.
Well,
Batman
I think
figure.
it's very clear who their target is, and I'm pretty sure it's Sentry.
Sentry is essentially a confirmed villain in this movie.
Yeah.
Like in this movie.
Yeah.
I do not get how they're gonna kill Sentry unless Sentry.
Well, I think that will be the fun of it is that they're all like almost completely powerless, trying to fight off this big thing. So I think that is a good kind of power skill situation. That's interesting. Again,
but I feel like it should make sense though. I feel like it should make sense though. Like, how are these normal human beings supposed to kill this Superman in Marvel? Like, it should make sense to a certain degree, in my opinion.
Yeah.
And I know it's a movie. I know it's fiction, but the laws of physics should somewhat apply. And here, it just does not work, in my opinion.
Okay. Well, I mean, there's a decent amount of them. Like, and they've all got pretty like good feats, I'd say, in terms of the MCU. That who knows what could happen. Maybe some of them are like
maybe
some of them could be killed off very easily. Kind of like in the
Probably.
Suicide Squad. Who knows? They could
Probably.
be whatever, you know. All right.
I feel like Red Guardian's
I
gonna
don't
die.
think they have the balls to do that.
Who knows?
I don't think they have the balls. So anyway, can we get to the interesting stuff?
All right. Here we go. Fantastic Four obviously
Yay.
is set in an alternate universe from the MCU, and it's set in the 60s. And it's described as like the Jetsons, basically,
What's that?
like
Jetsons?
superhero version of the Jetsons.
Google
Wait.
Gaga Gen Z baby
Oh my
doesn't know
god.
what the Jets
Look,
Oh
just
my
because you're
gosh,
45
bro.
doesn't mean.
Dude. Okay, well,
Hello.
it's just a cartoon from the 60s in set in the future. So it's basically just like the
Okay.
superhero Jetsons. What do you guys think about it being set in a different universe?
But it's also it's also retro future stuff. Like not
Mhm.
like yeah.
Hmm.
All right, so Fantastic Four, I actually have some shit to say about.
Okay.
Now I'm gonna go on the record by having said that I did not grow up a Fantastic Four fan. I haven't really read any Fantastic Four books, but this movie piqued my interest because I am a sucker for superhero period pieces. And almost any time a superhero thing has been a period piece, it's really worked for me. Case in point, Captain America: The First Avenger, Justice League: New Frontier.
Yeah.
Like I love that
Love
retro. And I'm hoping this is the
yeah,
first time
because
the
it reminds you of
MCU
how
is
old
really-
you are.
They
Shut
haven't
the
really
fuck
done
up.
anything like this. Like
Since First
Avenger, no way, you know.
Yeah.
Look, I guess Captain Marvel was set in the 90s, but I wouldn't
Not
really
really.
go on a limb to say the 90s
It's too
is
close.
like
90
I
is too
wouldn't.
close.
I wouldn't say that the '90s had a. Here's the thing: if you're gonna have something as a period piece, then that period should affect the setting. And Captain Marvel, it seems like, was just set in the '90s, just so that they could explain why she never existed before. And it seems like,
yeah.
and basically,
With
what
First
I'm saying is
Avenger,
that,
it being
yeah,
with First Avenger, it being in the 40s is essential. With New Frontier,
Yeah.
it being 50s and 60s is very essential to that story.
Yeah.
Even X-Men First Class
Yeah.
is
Oh,
like
I
set in the
love
60s
that.
and shit.
Yeah.
but that
Um,
was more in terms of just. It's just to explain away the MCU, which I will say it seems like they are doing it in this movie as well. So I hope they still keep some of that stuff, and it's not just it's in the 60s. So yeah, I don't think that Fantastic Four is gonna be like that. Of course, I'm sure there's a reason it's set in the 60s. There always is a reason, but if it's the entire
I
setting,
mean, well,
it's hard to
I
ignore.
mean, I already kind of pretty. I feel like the reason it's set in the 60s is because like they are gonna make it like. I think actually making it in the 60s is a smart choice instead of just making it like the standard MCU modern fare. Is to intentionally kind of set it apart and make it more interesting visually and make it more distinct.
Yeah,
and
I
I hope
agree.
that they do that
It looks
because
great. The city.
yeah, and also doing it as a period like where was I saying this? Okay, hold on. Let me collect my thoughts. Making it a period piece makes it more visually distinct as a movie, and is also since it's an alternate universe, it can be free from the MCU constraints. And they're like, well, it's not the main MCU timeline, so why not just go all in on this?
I was wondering about that. It seems like it's gonna be very a closed story. You know, not too many connections is my guess, since it's
and I
completely
kind of
separate
prefer
universe.
that because I feel like they're just gonna go all in on it.
Yeah.
And I like that. Like go all in, play the Beatles, have them, walk around and see hippies. Like go all in,
exactly.
man.
I'm
And
not
I dig
jumping the
that
gun
for
here,
being it.
but do you think Doctor Doom is gonna appear in this movie? Like,
No,
I feel like
I don't
since-
think there's a chance.
What if Doctor Doom is an ex Tony Stark employee?
Wait. So it's this release date. Isn't this the same as Superman Legacy? Well, not Legacy, but the Superman movie that James Gunn is making.
Dude.
Yeah, I think it's like around. It's like the same. I think it's the same month.
New Barbenheimer incoming.
What are you talking about?
Superman's gonna wipe this movie. No,
Yeah,
he's saying
I
how
agree.
I think that Superman is
they're
gonna wipe
coming out
this
at the
movie
same
off the
time.
fucking map.
Yeah.
I think they're coming out like a month, or like a couple weeks apart.
Fantastic Four is really gonna have to wow people if Superman doesn't. Like I personally I don't really think there's a chance, but who knows. Yeah, it's
But
gonna be set in the 50s.
I also think Superman is.
What's
Go
the
ahead.
I think making it set in the 50s and making it a period piece is the right move. I think that is the right
Yeah.
call to make for this movie.
I don't like the composer. I can't pronounce his name, but I like his work. The composer for
Michael
F4.
Giacchino, great guy.
Giacchino. Yeah.
Yeah. He directed.
Giacchino's doing the score?
Yeah, he
Yeah, he's
directed
composing
Werewolf
the
by
score.
Night and did the score for that as well, and for the Batman, multiple
He did
great
the score for
movies.
the Batman.
Yep.
Yeah.
And he also
And
did
No
the
Way
score for
Home.
MCU Spider-Man.
Yeah, No Way Home as well.
All the
Guys
MCU
has
Spider-Man
great
movies.
soundtracks. And dude, imagine that with the '60s retro aesthetic. Like I can already
Oh
hear it in
my
my
god. Oh my god.
I
Oh,
know.
And that's the other thing too, though.
Trust
I do hope that they don't just use it to make like cutesy references to things of the
Mm-hmm.
'60s. Like
Yeah.
I hope that they do it and actually like make it the
political
'60s
stuff.
and like
Because that's what they
Yeah,
did with First
and
Class.
actually
First
lean
Class
into
was a
that.
'60s period piece. You know,
Yeah.
it was
Yeah.
involved
And
within the world.
First Avenger 2, I would argue, made a big point of like the propaganda of World War II and how Captain America was a part of that. I think
Yeah.
that was something else that
Yeah.
First Event, like, you can really do stuff with that. Oh, did you
Yeah.
guys see the Fantastic Car?
Yeah, I was about to.
Oh, yeah.
I was about to say that. But yeah, they got the Fantastic Car.
So guys, the Fantastic Car looks
Bruh.
really cool.
It does.
But I was gonna say it was cool because they had a floating
like-
Fantastic Car around the stadium, which I thought that was cool, and I don't know how they did that. That was pretty cool.
What would have been
yeah.
funny? You know, what would have been funny as fuck
What?
Go on.
if it fell.
I know.
Oh my
I
god.
think it was an inflatable, and people were
Yeah,
holding it
11.
on strings, and they were walking around. I could be wrong. It looked so real and like great though. Love
Yeah.
it. Love that
It
design.
does look cool. And I'm also
Yeah.
like that's another thing. Like I'm a big fan of that classic, like
Mhm.
like old
And
Chevy
it's a very
Impalas
simple
and
design.
Old, like,
It's not
Mustang.
over designed either.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And
Well,
but
also
the
the
Fantastic
costume.
Four.
If they're gonna stick with those,
Yeah, I like the whole costume design, car design, future city design. It all looks great so far. I really hope
Yeah.
they don't change
Yeah.
too much. I just want to say that there is a new title for this movie, Fantastic Four, and I
Yeah.
don't know how to feel about it. The
What's it-
Fantastic Four First Steps.
I like it. I like it when movies have their own distinct titles to like differentiate it from like other movies. So we have like F4.
I mean, we also already have like 3 other movies titled The Fantastic Four.
That's what I'm
so-
saying.
I agree.
So I like it that they're differentiating from like the other movies.
Well, they could have just done a the scenario, which I guess is what they
No.
were originally gonna do.
No.
No, because
Afterwards.
the 1980s one, the 1980 like
Oh, that was
Lost
also
Media Fantastic.
okay.
That one's titled The Fantastic Four. Then there was the 2005 one, and then
Fantastic
there's
Four,
Fant Four Stick.
sequel, and then Fant Four Stick. Okay, yeah, I mean, don't hate it.
Yeah.
I think they could have picked a better title, but don't hate it, in my opinion.
What would you suggest? I feel like First Steps is a very cool
mean,
name.
I think it fits the aesthetic because I don't know.
Yeah.
This just seems like something in the '60s would say, like First Steps. You know,
Exactly, so it works.
I don't know.
The Batman Begins
It's
of the
not my
Fantastic
favorite.
Four movies.
Okay, not
The-
we're not
or-
talking
yeah,
about
there's
Nolan.
an idea.
We're not talking about Nolan.
The Fantastic Four begins.
We're not talking about Nolan.
I think that just
Jack-
shows you
I know
how
what you're saying.
bad
No,
Batman
no,
Begins
no,
title
no.
was. What are you saying, Rob?
I'm not talking about knowing. I just said the title because it's like their beginnings, their origins. Like I'm
Yeah,
just making
yeah.
a comparison. All
So
right.
we can have
Bill,
Fantastic
relax.
Four
I'm not gonna
begins.
start talking about Nolan. But like the comparison was there because like it's their beginnings and stuff. So
Yeah.
All right, so this is where we get to the good stuff. Early footage of Galactus, who I think we've known is going to be the villain for some time now, is
Yeah.
his face is shown peering through a building, and he's very clearly a giant cosmic entity.
You remember like a cloud in the Fantastic Four
And the-
sequel?
the Fantastic
Yeah.
Four ones.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We don't talk
And
about
I
that.
also
Actually, it was
I'm
nice.
glad we have a real
I have a
Galactus
little-
this time.
Yeah.
I do have a little bit of a soft spot for the Chris Evans Fantastic Four movie, the first one, but that's kind of a.
I mean,
That's
we're
something
here to
I
talk
like.
about the announcements. I didn't want to say it, but
Yeah.
yeah, but yeah, guys.
Stop being nostalgic, you old man.
All right, but yeah,
All right, I
he's
didn't even
peering
like
through a
go for
building,
fucking
and
Papa.
the Celestials and Eternals were huge, so I can only imagine how big And that was a scary scene as well, like seeing how massive they were compared to the Earth, compared to humans. So I can only imagine how big Galactus is going to be. That on top of how was the Fantastic Four supposed to fight this giant guy who's like 50 trillion times the size of Earth, right?
Yeah. I have a question. Do you guys think we'll have this
He's gonna
Silver
throw
Surfer?
one of those fucking Ant-Man discs at him and shrink him.
Probably.
What are you saying?
Probably. Do you think they'll have Silver Surfer movie? Because like
He-
discussing film
Fantastic.
probably kills the
Silver
controversy.
Surfer.
No, they are.
There will be a version of
Confirmed.
Silver Surfer in this. Whether they have the
with the
main
woman.
version is up to, I don't know. Who knows at this point?
Yeah.
It's obviously a different version of the Fantastic Four than we're used to. So they might be taking some creative liberties. As far as that, I cannot tell you.
Okay.
I thought they said that they confirmed that it was gonna be like the female version of Silver Surfer.
Yeah. So I don't
Oh,
know
yeah,
about the
yeah.
main version of Silver Surfer, but there will be a Silver Surfer, for
Okay.
sure. And then some stuff about behind the scenes of the movie. There's not too much about it except that the Fantastic Four will appear. I think this is probably very obvious, probably a given, but they will both appear.
Yeah, but
All of
this is
them
what
will
I'm
be
saying. I
appearing
think
in the next two Avengers movies.
so. I still think that Doctor Doom is gonna be in this F4 movie, and him and the F4 team are gonna be transported.
Yeah, it's
the next
possible.
Avengers
I
movie.
mean, I don't know
Yeah.
how much I would like that, but if that's what they need to do, I guess they would do it. Fine, you know.
Yeah.
All right. Next, on to the big news, the final news.
Oh,
The Russo brothers are
Oh, we're
set.
finally.
What?
Said we're finally here.
Yeah, we're here. All the big Avengers stuff. Starting off
Yeah.
with the last two Avengers movies finally have their directors. You know, there's been many rumors of, oh, is it going to be Sean Levy?
Yeah.
Is it going to be Daniel Dusty Cretton or whatever his name is? I'm happy about this personally. I don't know how much you guys like the Russo movies.
I like him, but I think Rob has
So,
like hate passion for them.
so okay. My problem with the Russos is I don't really. Like I said, I like Winter Soldier. I don't like Civil War. I like Infinity War, and I actually do go out on a limb and I do defend Endgame more than I think a lot of people do. I actually like Endgame a decent bit, but I think the Russos are fairly sauceless as directors, so I haven't enjoyed the Russos' non-Marvel work being Barry and the Gray Man, and I also just generally think that they're not very unique as directors. So, but at the same time, they're making Avengers movies again. So, but again, I don't
It's a
feel like
different,
they have the sauce.
sandbox.
I feel like they know how to blend.
However, on the other
together.
hand, I will say one more thing. I'm glad they did not get Sam Raimi to do Avengers movies because I would much rather see Sam Raimi work on his original stuff, make another horror movie or
I agree.
maybe another Western or something cool like that. I'd rather
I
have
would
Sam
have loved that
Raimi doing.
if he did do it, but yeah.
Yeah.
I'm
feel-
happy. I would rather see Sam work on more original stuff because also
Yeah.
Multiverse of Madness, people hate that movie, and I actually enjoy it. But I feel
enjoy
like
it.
people hate on the movie because Sam Raimi has sauce and added like his own juice into it, and people like didn't like
Yeah.
it. So I don't want him to like. I want like let the man make some scary movies again. Like I don't know.
Yeah.
So
I agree with Rob.
The
The
Russos-
brothers don't have any like creative vision. Not creative vision, but like no unique vision. But I think their way of blending characters together is pretty well executed.
that
Like,
is one of their strong suits. Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Like,
I
I feel
was
like-
But I
thinking about
also-
that recently.
Yeah, the character arcs. the
Another thing I will say,
characterization are
though-
interesting.
The Russos did kind of have, I'm not gonna say an easy time, but I will say when the Russos came in to the MCU, you know, they made the Winter Soldier, which was their first movie. A lot of the character stuff in Civil War and in the Avengers movies, a lot of the hard, heavy lifting was already done by, and I hate to say this, but a lot of the heavy lifting for that was already done by like Joss Whedon and the first Avengers and even Age of Ultron. A lot of like the heavy lifting of getting those characters to mesh and getting that chemistry to work. A lot of the heavy lifting and the hard work for that was already kind of done for them. The actors knew each other
I think
better.
that made it
The
better
actors
for the
bounced
Russos
off each
though,
other.
because the Russos
Yeah.
didn't have to focus on reestablishing are retelling characters' origins. They could just go straight to get straight to the
Yeah.
point. You know,
Yeah.
Which
That's what I'm saying,
That's what I
though,
think made
so-
those movies great.
But I
Yeah.
feel like they did it better than most directors would have in their position, in my opinion.
It is difficult. It is a difficult thing to do. Make two of those movies back to back.
It is a difficult thing to do when they do it and they do it well.
Yeah.
But it was also, it helps that the actors were already comfortable in their roles, and
Yeah.
you know.
I see what you mean. Yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
So next up is big territory. Obviously, Avengers 5 has been without a title for a long time now. It was originally called Kang Dynasty, and now
Kang
its new
Dynasty.
name is Doomsday. It's gonna. I think most people saw this
Zack
coming.
Snyder is the blueprint.
Yeah, that they're gonna rewrite the
Zack
script
Snyder.
with Doctor Doom instead of Kang.
Yeah.
And based off of how many Dooms were on the stage, I'm gonna assume it's gonna take a very similar route of and obviously with RDJ playing Doom, it's obviously gonna be a Doctor Doom from a different universe. So yeah, thoughts?
What do you guys think? What do you guys think about the casting?
Oh, are we on the casting yet, or are we
Yeah.
just on the
We
name
are,
change?
we are.
I
We
guess
are.
we're on both.
The casting.
Not my
The
favorite.
name change. I had a feeling they were gonna do that. You know.
I think it was
Yeah.
very
Jonathan
obvious.
Majors, like. Yeah, Jonathan Majors, like, beat his ex-girlfriend or what? I'm pretty sure, and all that.
Yeah.
So that was obviously gonna happen no matter what.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So the casting, not my cup of tea,
Yeah.
and
I
I
would-
think it's gonna be. I will say this too. This is gonna be a very interesting litmus test for general audiences
Yeah.
because
Because I feel like
this
it would
is
be better.
the first time. Like, shut up.
Yeah. Yeah.
This is the first time we've had like. Okay, yes, you could say we've had, Chris Evans playing Human Torch versus Captain America, but this is the first time in the same movie franchise we've seen the same actor play different characters and
in a big,
you
in
know-
a big role. And
Yeah.
in a big role.
Yeah.
And also, because even people today, I'm not like non-comic book people, just normal people who, a lot of people watch the Avengers movies. Like my dentist who's never read a comic book in his life watched Infinity War and Endgame and was like, oh, you like those superhero movies, huh? Like, so many people watch these movies, and so many people to this day look at RDJ and think of Iron Man and think of him, Marvel, Iron Man, the MCU, those movies. So this is going to be a very interesting kind of litmus test for where that lies.
Yeah.
That all stuff aside, I don't think he's not who I would have chosen. I don't know if RDJ spent took all that money that he got from Oppenheimer and like went to the casino and put it all on black and like gambled his money away and he needed the bag, or like I don't know, because I thought that that Oppenheimer was going to be a turning point for RDJ, and because he had said like, after playing the same character for 10 years, I kind of want to do more original stuff.
Well,
And
in
I was
response to
hoping-
that, this is a different character, but I see what you're saying.
yeah, but it's the same.
It's the same world.
Like it's
the same
Marvel.
universe.
It's Marvel. It's a superhero movie. It's spending your days at work on a green screen set talking to tennis balls. Like he made a very my point is he made a very big point after Oppenheimer of being like, I want to do more stuff like this for a little bit.
Yeah.
And now he's doing this again. So either Kevin pulled up with a big fat truck of money, or something to get him to come back. And yes, he did say it's not that RDJ had a bad time. He enjoyed doing those movies. But I don't know. I feel like I also think you have such a strong I guess you're not bringing Tony Stark back.
Yeah.
But you guys both said that at the exact same time. You're not bringing Tony Stark back, so I can't even say like, oh, you're compromising the ending that they gave the character, because you're not. You're doing, you're giving him a new character.
Something new.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I will.
But also,
oh yeah, go ahead.
I know I'm yapping a lot, and I'm sorry.
You're good.
Like, I don't know. It's just it's not who I would have chosen, and I was hoping for something a little bit more unique, because this also feels very like buzzworthy. Like this is gonna get people talk. Like this is a choice that's like this is gonna get people talking.
And that's not bad per se.
In terms like in terms of other like. I also just there are other actors I would have chosen. Like I could have, you could have gone with Giancarlo. You could have gone with Mads Mikkelsen.
Well, the reason I know casting is I feel like they should have had a Romani actor to doing.
I was about to bring that up. Just really quick in response to that, I want to say, I have always seen Doctor Doom as a Romani person, and I'm sure that there's a reason within the story that it is RDJ, like he's a variant of Iron Man, and then that's gonna have repercussions on the story. He's not just Doctor Doom to be Doctor Doom. He's obviously gonna be from a different universe. I feel
like if he's Tony Stark, whose name is Doctor Doom, that's fine. But at that point, it's making original character. If you're not gonna do Victor Von Doom.
Yeah. Again, I'm sure it's not just for no reason. I'm sure there's a thematic reason for it. It's just hard to get behind there not being a Romani actor playing the character.
Yeah.
Doom is also one of the characters who I think his background as Romani is important to the character.
Yeah.
Like actually like is very now granted, Marvel, they cast White Girl is Scarlet Witch, who also is supposed to be Romani, so it's not like they've ever really given that much of a shit. But
I mean, I will say, of course, there's not much we can change about it, so all we can do is go forward. Unfortunately, but I will say there is an interesting thematic element in casting RDJ as Doctor Doom. Like, what does that mean?
Yeah.
Because he was Iron Man, and so are other characters going to see Doctor Doom and be like, hey, you're Iron Man, or what? Like, what's going on?
Yeah.
That was one of the first tweets I saw. It was like, oh my god, Peter Parker's gonna start crying when he sees RDJ is...
So stupid, I hate that.
Yeah.
No, but it was one of those like,
was that Blu-ray Angel? Was that a Blu-ray Angel post?
Oh my god.
I don't know.
Oh my god.
I was gonna say this is also like this is a very Blu-ray Angel casting.
Yeah.
Definitely.
I don't know. I still don't know what to think about it.
The tweet was very much like, oh my god, my cinnamon roll Tom Holland baby boy is gonna start crying when he sees his former mentor.
Oh my god.
It's like
I will say though, RDJ is a good actor, but like
he's an excellent actor, and I think also after seeing him really fucking bring his shit in Oppenheimer, like he was good as Tony Stark. He's on another level in fucking Oppenheimer.
Yeah.
He's got
when he's going off.
I have no doubt he'll be good at this role. It's just I don't know. I just don't think he's the best.
Background
I think about that scene. Yeah, where he's like going off and he's like, he didn't care about Hiroshima or Nagasaki. Like, he's so good in that role.
Oh yeah.
And this is like, I don't know. It just, I'm not gonna be like, oh, he's regressing himself as an actor. I'm not gonna get all pretentious like that.
Yeah.
But it's just, it wouldn't have been my first choice. He wouldn't have.
I just think
actually, he probably wouldn't have even been on the list.
Yeah, I will say that almost no one cared about Thanos. I mean, yes, it was a big event in comics, but it was also a small event in comics. The Infinity Gauntlet, like, you don't hear many people talk about the Infinity Gauntlet. Like, if we're being real.
Sometimes you do.
But they popped it, like, dude, the cultural impact that Thanos had, that the Russos directed, and, Marcus and McFeely wrote, I hope they have those writers back again. It's unparalleled. I mean, that made the character famous,
But I would also argue Doctor Doom, like, if you take Thanos before Infinity War and Doctor Doom just in general.
That's what I'm saying. He's gonna explode. He's gonna explode. On top
Doctor Doom is already like a decently
and on top of RDJ, his character's gonna go insane.
I would argue people decently know who Doctor Doom is.
Yeah.
I think, oh my god, just reopened Twitter, first tweet. When Peter Parker says, I hate you 3000 to RDJ's Doctor Doom.
Oh, Blu-ray Angel, get out of my head.
God.
Oh, man.
So, I just got a mental flashback with the vine.
Like a Call of Duty flash grenade.
Yes, bro. It's just fucking Blu-ray Angel.
Guys, can we get a
Why
3-second
is it that
mind
when I
cleanse?
get Flash?
Like, oh my
Why
gosh.
is it that when I get Flash, it's like I got hit with a napkin from you know that clip, right?
Yeah,
No.
I do. I know what you're talking about.
Anyway.
Oh man.
What do you guys think he means by new mask, same task?
It's so
you-
early. The
already
movie
know?
comes out in 3 years, man.
And he
Or
says,
2 years.
I think
and already said,
pretty
well,
simple.
tell you, I like playing complicated characters. I don't
Yeah.
think Doctor Doom is gonna be like a villain. I think it's gonna be like an anti-hero type
I mean,
thing.
I think he's gonna be a
Doom-
villain with a purpose. I don't even, because you could say Thanos wasn't a villain, but he was. It's gonna be the same as
Yeah.
Thanos, I'm sure. It's not that he's
Or,
gonna
like,
be
the
anti-hero.
villain.
He'll be a
But
villain
he says
with a purpose.
same task though. Like
Same
Same
task.
task as
That
a
could
villain.
be in a million
He-
things.
the Marvel- I think that literally just means being in a Marvel movie. Like I think that's
Okay.
I think it's not that deep. I think it's
Okay.
just different mask, like he's Iron Man mask to the Doctor Doom mask,
Okay.
and then the new task is or the same
Entertain.
task is being in a Marvel movie.
yeah.
Yeah.
And that
I got-
mask
no,
he's
I don't
wearing isn't the actual Doctor Doom mask for the movie, right?
Probably
I
not.
would assume.
I don't know yet. It looks great though.
You know what
I don't mind it.
happens- You know,
It looks
I can
accurate.
assume.
It looks nice and accurate. No problem with it at all. Looks great. What was I gonna say? So yeah, Avengers Doomsday. So that comes out May 2026. So they did get pushed back a little. I mean, it was to be expected. But that does mean that they're probably gonna start shooting soon, and that Fantastic Four is gonna coincide shooting most likely with Avengers 5.
I mean, they literally had to change the whole villain of the movie, so yeah,
Yeah.
it getting delayed makes sense.
Avengers Doomsday,
Doctor
Avengers Secret Wars.
Doom-
Yeah.
My boss at work, his favorite character in comics is Doctor Doom. Like he's read all his books.
Wow.
He's like
I wonder how he's gonna
He's like a
react to
hard-
this.
I sent it to him, and he didn't really say anything. He was like, "Yeah, I saw the panel at Hall H." Doctor Doom is a cool character though. He owns what's the name of the country he owns? Or
Yeah.
he's
I know
like,
what you mean. Yeah, I remember. But yeah, I know
he
what you mean.
also like another thing he does is like every Tuesday, like once a week, he will go to hell to try to fight for his mother's soul and shit. Like Doctor Doom's a sick ass character.
Yeah.
Latvia.
Latvia, yeah.
Or
Yeah.
Latveria or Latvia?
Latveria.
Am I tripping right now? Which one?
One
is
of
it?
them. It's one of them.
I think Latvia's fake and Latveria is real. All right, no, other way around. My bad. Okay. One last thing that I forgot to touch on is that we found out who bought the Avengers Tower? Question mark. Apparently, it's for Thunderbolts. And Val. Because, there's this big thing with the Avengers Tower. Who bought the Avengers Tower, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
So they're basically.
I would have
saying-
given it shit if it was like 6 years ago.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Is they took too long for this reveal. Also, this isn't confirmed. I think this was Brandon Davis on Twitter who was there. And he watched the footage. He said that it looks like it is the Avengers Tower. But again, not for certain. Don't mind it. It would have been cool if it was like something like really, really mysterious and cool. Don't mind it though.
I thought it was gonna be Kingpin or
Yeah,
Reed
me too.
Richards. Like those were the two
The
main.
fact that it's
options made the
Val
most
is
sense.
like.
That makes
Yeah.
those make the most sense though. Like Wilson Fisk is in New York superhero Fisk Tower. Okay.
Yeah.
Reed Richards, the Fantastic Four Tower or whatever. What is
Back-
it called? Isn't it called the
back-
Fantastic Four Tower?
Back.
The Baxter
the
Building.
Baxter Building.
The Baxter Building.
Yeah.
Oh man, I
Like,
hope we
those
see
just
the
make the
Baxter
most
Building,
sense.
man. I want them to be celebrities. That would be so awesome.
Well.
The anti-Homelander.
Reed
The anti-Homelander.
Richards is teaching a science class in
Yeah,
the movie.
he does teach a science class. I think that's a given.
Yeah.
I was just gonna say one more thing is that it's interesting that the Thunderbolts' new headquarters is the Avengers' old headquarters because they're quite literally a subversion, I guess, of the Avengers.
The
Willing to kill.
anti-Avengers. Yeah.
Well, I actually, you know what? I kind of take that back because the Avengers were just killing machines in those movies. Now that if you think about it, I'm sure they'll probably mention that in some way. I hope they don't, but yeah.
Yeah, that's the other thing. No one in the MCU, like, no one in the MCU has a no-kill rule.
I know.
Like,
even Spider-Man.
I guess you could argue.
Things.
I guess you could argue Captain America, like, but even then, the only time Captain America really killed was. But that was in World War II. Like that was like.
He's Captain America. He could have dealt with it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Let's just be real.
No,
even Black Widow's a serial killer. Hawkeye's a serial killer. Everyone's a serial killer.
Hold on.
I
want to go back to Cap though, because they made a big thing about Falcon and Winter Soldier when John Walker used the shield to decapitate someone.
Yeah.
And I'm like, did Captain America do like worse things in war or not? Like,
I would argue though that was World War II, and that was kind of like modern day Captain America didn't go like in Winter Soldier.
I don't know if he would kill anyone that surrendered though. I think that was the thing, is that he surrendered.
Yeah, he was like, begging for his life.
Yeah, that's not cool. That's not cool. All right, everyone, that was the Enlighten podcast, episode 11. We'll be back next time with DC and the boys news from San Diego Comic-Con.
This was special guest Rob the Bat. Follow me on Twitter at BobTheRatBeorn. You see me sometimes. Sometimes my tweets blow up. Thank you to my wonderful podcast hosts for having me on here.
Course.
This distinguished show.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. Bye, everybody.
Bye.